Hi, this is Chris from Lumo Computer Services. Let's talk about ransomware. Let's talk about what it is, how dangerous it really is, and how it can end your business and your future. Now, you might not think you're a big target for ransomware because you hear about the large companies, the multi-million or billion-dollar companies that get ransomware and have to pay an enormous price. But if you have computers and you keep personally identifiable information on those computers, especially, then you're a target. You might say, oh, we only have 2 or 3 computers in our practice, but there's a very good chance that, especially if you're a medical practice, you're going to download something from a patient chart so you can print it. Do you always delete those downloads? Are they still sitting in your recycle bin? Because if they exist anywhere on your computer, they're a target for ransomware. And ransomware isn't just a virus. Everybody knows it's a virus. But this is a life-changing, business-ending event. Even if you say, well, I can recover, I can always live with someone else, or I can restart my business elsewhere. What about your employees? What are they going to do? So let's get into the meat and potatoes of what ransomware is and what it does. So the whole purpose of ransomware, the whole reason why it was developed, is to make money. Hackers make money by taking your legitimate business files, your Word documents, your PDFs, your databases, anything you use for business, including your photos, and it locks them up. They still exist on your computer, but you can't open them. You can't do anything with them. It locks them up by using something called encryption. So, what's encryption? So imagine a Rubik's Cube. It's got 9 squares on each side, and when it comes fresh out of the box, each side has the same color. Part of the entertainment of a Rubik's Cube is mixing those colors up and then trying to unmix them. And for anyone who's an amateur like me at a Rubik's Cube, it's difficult with only 9 colors or 9 squares on each side. But imagine a Rubik's Cube 10,000 times that size, and you're not the one who mixed it up. Those are each of your business files. So what a hacker will then do is say, hey, we are XYZ hackers, and we just encrypted your files. Pay us to get them unencrypted so you can get back to work. If you don't pay them, they will delete your files. And by the way, by the time you see the ransomware screen pop up, they've already taken your files. They have them. They possess them. And they might already be for sale on the dark web. Maybe not. But remember, these guys are criminals. You can't trust them. So the reason why they always announce who they are, say XYZ hackers, is because if you pay the ransom and they release the files like they promised, and you can get back to work, the next person who gets an attack from XYZ hackers is more likely to pay because, hey, you got your files back. If we pay, we'll get our files back. Imagine if they didn't. Imagine if they said, hey, pay us $1 million in Bitcoin, we'll release your files, and then they don't. The next person who gets attacked will say, why should I pay? You're not going to release my files anyways. I saw what happened to that guy. I'm not paying you a penny. So they usually do release the files and let you get back to work. But in the meantime, a lot of them will take those files that they encrypted and sell them on the dark web. They probably don't make as much money as they do with the ransom, but they'll make, I don't know, a couple $1,000 extra. Who would walk away from that, especially if you're a hacker and you don't care about anybody but yourself? So this is where it gets really serious. Because if your customers start getting their identity stolen, if they hire another software company to keep an eye out for their personally identifiable information on the dark web, and they see it appear, it'll only be a matter of time before they trace it back to your office, to your business. So let's talk about the costs. So, yes, it can be expensive to have computer security. But what are the expenses if you don't? Or if you think, oh, I have antivirus on these computers, therefore I'm safe. You're not. There's ways to get around antivirus, which is why good computer security is layered. It's not just antivirus, it's antivirus and firewall and a security operations center and other layers to make it as difficult as possible, so hopefully the hackers will go somewhere else. It's just like locking your front door. Yes, your door can be kicked in, or someone can break a window to get in, but that doesn't mean you leave your house unlocked to make it easy for them. So what are the costs if you have a breach? Number one is going to be legal fees. If you get a ransomware attack, you're not going to want to go it alone. You're going to have to hire an attorney to at least give you the opportunity, that the slimmest chance of saving not only your business, but your livelihood, yourself, your property, your cars, your children's college funds, your savings account, your jewelry, that big screen TV you got hanging on the wall. You're going to have to hire an attorney, and you're looking at $25,000 conservatively. Then there's the regulatory defense and compliance investigations. The government's going to want to know what happened. How did you get hacked? Was it your fault for not having any computer security? Or did they just get past everything? And if they got past everything, what did they get past? And you're looking at $100,000, give or take. Then there's the inevitable class action and individual lawsuits. If you remember, it wasn't too long ago at the time of this video, but a whole bunch of automotive dealers were hacked and shut down. Well, it wasn't 3 days since our local one, from the time of the event, that somebody opened a lawsuit against them. Everyone's out for money, and honestly, if your business is if this computer security is so weak that a hacker was able to get in, set up ransomware, and steal your customer data, their personally identifiable information, you kind of deserve it. You're looking at least $1 million, but that's not even the highest expense, not even close. Then there's government fines. Once they're done with their investigation that they billed you for, they're not going to do it for free. They're going to slap you on the wrist for every single record that was released. And let's say a small to medium-sized medical practice, or a small to medium-sized financial planner, let's say, you're looking at $250,000 just in fines. Oh, and by the way, none of this can be written off in bankruptcy. Then there's the Federal Trade Commission fines. You might think, oh, I'm not a financial planner. I am a retail store, therefore I don't fall under the Federal Trade Commission. Well, you do. Anyone who collects even just downloads so you can print customer files, you're subject to the FTC. And if they find out that you have a breach, which they will eventually find out, even if you try to hide it, you're looking at possibly $5 million, but probably more. Then there's digital forensics. Whether you hire it or the government hires it, you're going to get the bill. And a good digital forensics company is going to charge about $100,000 to find out what happened, but it could go up a lot more, especially if you have a complicated network or a bunch of computers. Even if you just have one computer, small practice, one doctor, one receptionist, you're looking at $100,000 at least. Then there's a public relations firm you're going to have to hire if you want any chance of saving yourself. Do not talk to the press if you have a breach. Don't answer any questions except to say no comment. Let the public relations firm do that for you, because anything you say, anything at all, is going to be used against you, especially in the class action and individual lawsuits. They're going to watch every single word you say. They're going to misconstrue it. Hire a public relations firm to do it for you, because this is what they do. But you're looking at $30,000. You're going to have to notify your customers of the breach. It's the law. And if you only have 2,000 customers who were breached, you're still looking at $3,000 just in postage and paper and envelopes. So your total, just in fines and regulatory things that have to be done, more than $6.5 million. I don't know anyone personally who has $6.5 million sitting in their bank account. But really, if you don't have, let's say, $15, $20 million in your bank account, if you don't have that, you're going under. You're going to have to sell your house. You're going to have to sell your cars. You're going to have to sell absolutely everything just to make a drop in the bucket compared to what this is going to cost you. This is how serious it is. But what about the expenses that are difficult to quantify, to put a dollar amount on? About loss of reputation. You were obviously a trusted source. This is why people came to you. Even if you're just Walmart, nobody expects Walmart to get hacked. They think when they swipe their credit card in the machine, everything's going to go just fine. They're also trusting the vendor who's running those machines, who's processing the credit cards, to be fine. And when it's not, they're going to want compensation. And what are the chances that they're ever going to use your service again? Your employees are not going to want to deal with this. It's not their business. You may think that all of your employees are invested, that they're part of the team. But when they get the 30th angry phone call of the day, their stress level is going to be so high, they're going to walk. They're not going to want to deal with this. You should have taken better precautions. They're going to blame you, and they're going to go look for another job. There's no reason for them to deal with this. Then there's the downtime during recovery. This can be fixed and settled maybe within a week. But chances are it's going to take a lot longer than that. Maybe a month, 2, or even 3 months. How long can you go without making any money at all? Zero money. You're going to have to lay your employees off because there's not going to be any customers showing up. There's not going to be any work. Your computers aren't going to be operational. They're going to be tied up with the government and with the forensics team trying to figure out exactly what happened and how far the damage has spread and who's been affected. How long can you go without making any money at all? Do you like sleep? Because you're not going to get any. You're going to be up late at night wondering what you could have done differently. And especially after you've watched this video, you're going to know that you didn't do enough. You're going to know that it's your fault. You're going to worry about all the people who've been affected. And you're going to start considering some drastic measures. I can't say exactly what because it's social media. But life's going to be very difficult for you, your family, your extended family, your employees, and their families. And let's say you do recover. You get everything done. You had the money in the bank. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from worse than scratch because you're going to have to hope everyone comes back. You're going to have to hope that customers will start showing up and spending money again for your products or services. But once it hits the newspapers, and it will hit the newspapers, it doesn't matter how small you are. Once the news gets a hold of it, customers aren't going to come back. You're going to have to find the naive ones, the ones who don't pay attention to the news, or the ones who just moved to the area. Your customer base is gone. This is a life-changing, possibly life-ending event. It's better to have computer security and not need it than not have it when you should have. Hackers are criminals, period. They don't care about you. They don't care about your life. They don't care about the lives of your employees or the lives of your vendors. They don't care what critical services you provide for the community. all they're after is a paycheck. And they get that primarily by relying on your weak computer security to make it happen. So if you'd like to know more, if you'd like a security audit so at least you know where you stand, contact me at lumocomputers.com. I'll be happy to help you out.